Okay, part part 3 or whatever. Okay, check this out. I left out a key part about the customization I did to my new Ray-Bans. I got these at Macy's, Sunglass Hut. Okay, I told you earlier that I put these arms on there, correct? Those arms were from another pair of Outdoorsmans, the golds. I got the black ones, but they're broken. This is the whole reason why I got my new ones, because it's broke. So, the difference, I need you to pay attention. The difference between these old lenses and these old frames and any new frames is that the screws are different size and the screws are even Phillips head. These like on my black ones, of course, they're Phillips head screws. The little all four screws are Phillips head. On my new ones, they're Phillips head. But on my classic aviators, mind you, these were large Road Spirit. Actually, these were not the Road Spirits. These are just large ones. My nephew has a Road Spirits. I gave them to him. They look badass. They have the white seat bar. They have the white arms. Because I took these arms off of those Road Spirits that I gave him anyway, because he didn't like the thing. Some people don't like this to wrap around your ear. I love it. It keeps them on when you're riding or whatever. So another important thing, like I said, the screws are gonna be different, different size. That's the main thing. So like on these here, if you look at the deal, these are vintage or old. They're not vintage. They're just old as fuck. They're not as old to be called vintage. These are probably from the 80s or 90s. Vintage is fucking 50s or 60s. Anyway, and I've had a pair of Ray-Bans like that, but I gave them to my father-in-law. Okay, so the screws on these old ones are flathead. They're flathead screws. The one for the arm, the one for the frame. And mind you, they're different they're different size. The 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 screw that holds the frame in is a little bit bigger than the one that holds the arm in, but they're different size and they're both flathead. Jump up a couple more years, 30 some odd years, whatever. All the Ray-Bans will have the Phillips head and Phillips head screw for both sides. Now I don't know. I think they should be this different size. The one that holds the frame's a hair bigger. The one that holds the arm is a hair bigger. But what I didn't tell you guys is that these arms, these gold wraparound arms, are old. They're older, so they would not go right on here. I had to literally take the arm off. I had to take a small file and I had to bore the hole out. I had to bore the screw hole because the hole on the old arm was bigger than the screw and the screw wouldn't even go in. So I just barely rimmed it out a hair, filed it down a hair, and they're in there and they're perfect, they're custom, they're badass. So yeah, screw sizes are different, screw head patterns different, flatheads, star, but yeah, they will not fit. You know what I mean? These arms wouldn't have fit on these, and anyone else would have given up, not me. I know that the hole is a little bit smaller and it just has to be made bigger, and it doesn't affect the tightening of these. You know, these are still tight. I could barely close them, but they're tight. That's because my frames are all badass. You know what I mean? It didn't leave them. If I would have bored it out too much, it would have left it flapping on its own. No, that does not do that. You know what I mean? I think I did them just right. I'm not a professional or anything. This is just what I do. I just love to do this crap. You know. And again, this is the only reason, because you gotta look pimp, man. Gotta look G'd out, dude. Especially, you know, you riding with me in my car, and you ain't got Ray-Bans on? Pfft, bro, get out and wait for the next bus, you know what I mean? Or something. You gotta roll with me, you're gonna look pimp. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got a pair of Ray-Bans, we're gonna go to the mall, we're gonna get you a pair of Ray-Bans. We're walking to the nearest freaking pawn shop, and I'm gonna pay, you know, between $30 to $70 for a pair of Ray-Bans that, you know, would vary from, you know, 90 to 200. You know what I mean? Uh, I'm in love with Ray-Bans. I've always been in love with Ray-Bans ever since my dad gave me my first pair when I was about 12 or 13. He gave me a pair of aviators, and the rest is history. I'm 53 now. I customize my own Ray-Bans. I know how to shop for good Ray-Bans. You get lucky and find them at pawn shops, brand new at pawn shops for less than half price. You know, it doesn't take you know. So I don't like plastic lenses. I don't like plastic frames. It's too easy. They're too easy to counterfeit. These gold ones, you can't counterfeit real gold. You can't counterfeit that look. Now on the new look that they have on the matte finish gold, those are badass. I bought a pair of those, but I gave them to my wife's coworker for her birthday, and she loves them. They're the large frame, and they're matte, and they have the red lens. But I try to put these arms on there, but of course they wouldn't fit because I hadn't reamed them out yet. So anyway, I'm glad I didn't give them to her because now they're on my new ones. Hers are just large frame, badass matte gold with the red rainbow lens. They're badass. She loves them. I think I paid $50 at a pawn shop for them. I had no problem giving them to my wife's coworker for her birthday because she's awesome. She's an awesome friend. Jules, shout out to you. Anyway, I'm freaking over the moon, dude, because of my new Ray-Bans. So what did I say? This video was for what? Yeah, the holes are different. Uh, they won't fit unless you make the hole bigger on the arm. Don't ever mess with the holes on the frames because you will ruin the frames. And once they're ruined, you're done. The screws won't go back in there. You're done. I don't think you could have rethreaded that something that small. So screws are different from flathead to Phillips, and of course both sides of the arm and the frame one is different size screws. Now you can go on Amazon and get old screws, new screws, any kind of freaking screws specifically for Ray-Bans, not for any kind of regular sunglasses. That's dime a dozen. No, you can get the gold plated screws, uh, either the new ones or the old ones, and you'll be in because, like I said, every frame's there's two frames sizes as far as the screws are concerned. Yeah, I figured that out the hard way, but now I'm just so happy. So, you know, I hope. Let me know if anybody does the same thing I do because I'm nuts, but at least I look cool. You know what I mean? My wife thinks I'm crazy, but she can say that while she's sporting a badass pair of Ray-Bans. You know what I mean? Anywho, thank you. My name's Bob. Uh, Let me know if you guys do custom work on your own. I can give you some ideas. I can give you some, share some ideas or whatever. Shit, I got parts. You need some parts? Hit me up. You know what I mean? I got an arm. I got one black arm right here. I got these two brand new arms for my other ones. I got these large frames. I have so much stuff, for Ray-Bans. Uh, I think every person should own a pair of Ray-Bans in their life. I think like when a person's born, they should be given a pair of Ray-Bans. You know what I mean? That's where my heart is with Bausch and Lomb and Luxottica and Ray-Ban. My wife's got a beautiful pair. My daughter's got a beautiful pair. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is. The sun is out. Slap your shades on. Look pimp. Look tough. Look cool. Look like Brad Pitt or whatever. But anyway, peace out. Thanks.